All right, so I'm between lunch and bowling, so I won't give you a lot of information. If you want more information, you can always come see me, email me, we can talk. But as Jim said, I'm Sharnnia, and I've been here for 7 months. And I work with a lot of you already, and a lot of you are always like, what do you do? Why aren't you ever in the office? Where are you? I get all types of stuff. From 8 in the morning to sometimes I'm here with some of you 9 at night, which I love all of it. But we have a new office, the Office of Access and Inclusion here on campus. It's a joint office, and what we do, we have a mission statement, which I know you can read, but to be brief, we try to recruit students from populations that are underrepresented in ICS as well as engineering. We try to retain them, so when they are students here, making sure that they stay in ICS, and then make sure they graduate, they're happy, they have career opportunities or opportunities to go to graduate school. And when I say underrepresented populations, I always like to say what that means. And it's generic here because underrepresented populations in ICS hopefully one day will change. It won't always be women, African Americans, Latinos, Chicanos, Mexican Americans, Pacific Islanders. So those are the populations when I say underrepresented. We also make sure we try to put on programs that support students that are first in their family. So first generation, we have a large population of first generation students coming to UCI that sometimes don't have don't really understand the process of higher education, so we try to bridge that gap for them, those that are from low income. So we look at socioeconomic status. So that's what we do. And our programs aren't just exclusive, it's open to everyone, but that is the population we try to make sure we are putting in our efforts, because those are the populations that typically need the most support here on campus. And a lot of what we do, there are also campus-wide initiatives to support students too. So we're just an added level of support for those that sometimes may have additional challenges beyond their academic or intellectual ability. So to accomplish that recruitment, retention, and student success goal, we have student success mission. We have 3 different goals that we prioritize for this office, and those are access, inclusion, and excellence. Access is really just offering opportunities for students to learn about computer science. It's not taught in every high school. Every student doesn't know a computer scientist or know that that field even exists. They know that they're computers, they know that there's gaming, they know that about the internet, but some kids don't have a clue on how to get into the field. So we try to provide programs to expose them and give them that experience. Inclusion, the second priority, is really about just offering a welcoming and supportive environment. And that's where it goes beyond the students. Faculty, staff, all of us are engaged in that inclusive, welcoming environment. And the third thing is excellence. Making sure that we have the best and the brightest students, because that's what we want here at UC Irvine, and just making sure that we position them to really excel and achieve to their highest potential. So those are our 3 goals: access, inclusion, and excellence. So everything we do somehow ties to those 3 goals. So the team. This is always important for people to know who the team is, because when you hear the word office, you often think many people. So the team is me. I am the office. And so that's why I depend on a lot of you with the phone calls and the emails. We have to do this together. But right now, the Office of Access Inclusion is me. And I also have a student staff support, Sky Warren. She joined me and joined the office in the spring, and she's staying over for the summer. So she really helps with a lot of the programs and copying and calls that we do in the office. So I'm very grateful for her. And also, you'll notice that I put 2 different offices up here. So ICS may not think I really sit over there in that office, because I do go over there a couple times a week to be available for students. That will probably change in the fall, the frequency of it. But I primarily sit in Rockwell Engineering Center. And actually, I was in the 3rd floor. Now I'm in 200 Rockwell Engineering Center. So I need to update that slide. I'm on the 2nd floor. And the office where I sit used to be the code office. And for those of you that don't know what code is the Center for Opportunities and Diversity Engineering. So this office was already existing in engineering. So a lot of the foundation for the Office of Access and Inclusion is based off the previous code office, which is now the Office of Access and Inclusion. If you go to the second floor, I'm in 200, you'll see the word code everywhere. Hopefully over this summer, I'll make the transition to the Office of Access and Inclusion, so all of the new students will know exactly what OAI is and where we're located. All right, so we do a lot. So I'm trying to make this presentation informative, but not confusing. And so I've broken it up by retention and recruitment. And here it says undergraduate. We focus on undergraduate as well as graduate students. I have undergraduates here because that has been the primary focus in the past 7 months. But when you see the retention, the recruitment slides, it's for both undergraduates and graduate students. But some of the initiatives for retention includes academic support, and what that means is offering tutoring for students and academic coaching. Academic coaching is different from counseling or advising. Academic coaching is really like, how do you strategize? So maybe your counselor told you need to take these 3 classes by this specific time period. How are you going to get that done? Do you have the finances to get that done? Can you stay for the summer to get that done? Is that course even offered during the summer? So really helping students take what they're expected and required to do and strategize on getting it done. Oftentimes students are confused, and sometimes their confusion leads to like decision paralysis, where they don't do anything or they wait kind of late to do something. So we try to help them figure it out and make the best decision for their situation. We also provide mentoring, industry and peer mentoring. Those of you may be familiar with the undergraduate mentoring program that was started a couple years ago here in ICS. So we will be continuing that program under the Office of Access and Inclusion. We put on academic and career workshops so students know about skills such as time management, study skills, communication skills, resume writing, anything to help them in the classroom, but also outside the classroom when they're doing internships or going into their careers, making sure that they're prepared. We have lots of opportunities for industry engagement and community building activities. So that's all about retention. We're making sure the student stays in ICS, making sure they feel welcome and belong in this major, and helping them to know that this major, although it's difficult, there are people that have succeeded, that have successful careers, and it's worth the time, it's worth the effort and the hard work. So the second piece is recruitment. And so this is recruiting high school students to come as undergrads or recruiting current undergraduate students to become graduate students. So we are out a lot building relationships with schools, building relationships with the community, different organizations that have students that are part of these populations that we're trying to increase here in ICS. And so while I'm here, I'm also out a lot because it is a one-person office. And some of the places that I'm at I'm at high schools. I'm also at community colleges, talking to teachers, talking to counselors and advisors to build those relationships so that they know more about UC Irvine and our programs. We also go to college fairs. We do UCI visit days where students are coming to campus, so we organize a day-long event for them to learn about UCI, learn about ICS, the requirements and how to apply. We also do student and school and individual visits. So I go out to the schools. This past spring with recruitment, we went to visit students and their families in Sacramento, as well as the Bay Area and San Diego, and locally here to tell them more about ICS. And these visits are sometimes individual visits, a one-on-one with family, because they have lots of questions, and some of the meetups are group meetups. So we do that to try to, when they get admitted, to make sure they come here. Everyone can't come see UC Irvine, so we're trying to take UC Irvine to them by bringing myself or some students so that they can get somewhat of what the experience is like outside of the internet or looking at different brochures that we send them. And I mentioned partnerships. So that's what we do with recruitment. And recruitment, believe it or not, starts now. I have some summer programs that will begin in July. It's all part of our recruitment strategy. We'll have about 30 community college and high school students with us for 2 weeks, doing some coding and programming, learning about ICS, UCI, and how to apply here. So we stay pretty busy. Community. So I thought this was an important slide. And I put some people, you might can't tell, but there are some people in this that you may know, like Dean Stern and Deborah Richardson. I photoshopped them in. But this Office of Access Inclusion is really a community-based type office. The work that we're doing, the goals that we have, in order to achieve them, everyone has to be involved. And so that's why I have, this is supposed to be a student, and this is all of us. And so I wanted to just highlight, I know a lot of you work with students, a lot of you work with faculty, so I wanted to highlight some things that we do. So when you hear a student may have a situation, you're like, oh, I think you need to go to OAI. Or if a faculty asks you for something, you're like, I don't know where to get this from. It may be the Office of Access and Inclusion that you should contact. And hopefully we're that centralized office when you think about diversity or inclusion or maybe difficulties students that may be having. So student support. I mentioned the advising and the coaching. If you are putting on an event for students from this population, we can help you connect with them. We can connect with alumni from these populations, as well as programs and events. I mentioned the academic support and the industry engagement. So we have programs and events that we have all year round for students. Sometimes they don't even know. We will try to advertise in many ways to them, but if they don't know, you can say, hey, did you think about the Office of Access and Inclusion? We also have contacts to high schools, community colleges, as well as some undergraduate programs that may be teaching institutions that don't have research. We have access to industry through our different partners, and then funding for small initiatives for the student organizations. OAI support for faculty and staff. If you need diversity data or if you need to interpret diversity data, that's something we can help you with. Oftentimes in proposals, they may ask for what is your makeup for diversity. And they may ask for it in a way that you're like, what? I know diversity, but I don't know what combination you're asking for. That's something we can help you figure it out because there are many types of requests that come through for proposals. If you work with the Diversity Graduate Fellowships for incoming and continuing students, we can help with nominations for that. Sometimes you have to have a mentoring plan so we can support and give you some verbiage and let you know what we're doing so faculty can have it written in there to increase our numbers of fellowships campus-wide. If you are responsible for working with a faculty or creating a program to support students, we can brainstorm and give ideas, or we may already have something in place either in OAI or we know that's already taking place on campus, so you don't have to recreate the program. Any proposal development, if you're writing proposals, especially for actually NSF, NIH, NIST, they're asking, what are you doing about diversity, or how are you broadening the participation of students that may typically not be in computer science? We can help you with that. We have lots of programs to help. So anything with proposal development, we have like boilerplate content that you could put in there, and we'll tell you, what to put in and how to put it in there. And if you need any resources or consultation for diversity or inclusion initiatives, or if you have any concerns, that's something we can kind of connect with and tell you, okay, this is what's done in OAI, but this is what's done campus-wide. So that's the support for faculty and staff. I think I'm on my last slide. This was my favorite slide. I did this one this morning. I asked Beth, where is Beth? Oh, there she is. Thank you for sending me the organizational chart. And so I have all of the different units and within ICS here, beginning with the Dean's office. But I wanted to, this is the Office of Access and Inclusion in the middle. But I wanted to kind of just tell you again how we can work together or how we have already worked together. And the two that are highlighted, I don't think I've worked with computing support or personnel office yet because I think engineering has really been helping me with any new hires and any lab space or computers. But I'm sure, I said not yet, I'm sure one day I'll come and say, hey, I need help. So Dean's office, I work a lot with Beth with scheduling meetings and questions. I always have questions, and she most of the time knows the answer. The business office, purchases and reimbursements, gifts come through the foundation that I always be like, okay, what's the fund number? What do I do? So I work with the business office in that manner. Okay, computer use, not yet. Facilities, I'm always emailing Jason to get rooms and keys and trash cans and stuff like that. So we have lots of events and programs, especially in this room. So we're over here a lot. New hires, not yet, even though I need some new hires. Jim, I need some new hires.
We're working on it.
Okay. Student affairs, I love this team because y'all help me understand computer ICS. I'm an engineer by training. I'm an industrial engineer. And so I've been in this field for a long time, about 15 years, just doing higher education. I worked in industry prior to coming to higher education. So I've been doing this a lot in engineering. And at the other universities that I've been at, engineering with computer science has always been in engineering. So working with ICS is very new to me, even though my background in industrial engineering is human-computer interaction, which would be in informatics. So I understand all of the ICS technical piece, but what I don't understand is just the processes. But the student affairs office, they help me a lot to understand what's going on in ICS. And I just want to say thank you because I really appreciate it because the spring was really fast and busy with admissions, reviews, yield. I just didn't know what to do, and they really helped me out. Tech Business Center, I've already worked with a couple people over there with proposal submissions with faculty. I don't think I have a designated person because I'm typically working with faculty, so whoever is designated to that faculty, I typically work with them. So I work with a couple folks over there, which is fun. Development and external relations, that's another group. Antigone and I, we connect on a regular basis, like every week, because I work with them with fundraising and scholarships. Shauna, this Saturday, we had a retreat for all of the student organizations. She came in to talk about what corporate relations is all about because our students and the student organizations are going out submitting proposals. So we work with development and external relations. Communications. They're here recording now. They said I signed a waiver when I came on board at UCI, but I'm always working with the communications team with our events. They help with the website, any print designs, they've been helping with that, photography, videography. So I work with everybody. So that's why I thought it was great to have this opportunity to present to this audience, to the staff, because we're all colleagues and people probably hear my name before they meet me or see me, but I am Sharnnia. And we're working on our new logo. This is something that the team generated, but we're making progress every day. So it's gonna look something like that soon. I'm trying to figure out the colors. But that's it.
Are there any questions?